Hello. This video discusses part of the workflow process to build a website. Now, in Art 190, I go through a very basic form of the workflow process. There's quite a bit that can get involved in working through how to present a client, how to get a client to the point of approving a website to be developed, and for them to be happy with it, for them to understand the expectations. One of the things that you do is you design the core templates, if you will, the core pages on the site, and you make sure they approve them. If you have interactive portions to the site, you make sure that they approve them. And I am about to assign you a website, a mock assignment. You will have to create mocks or comps, call them what you will, for each page on your 5-page site. And when I say mocks, I mean you have to design each page. It doesn't matter if the header is exactly the same on every page and the footer is exactly the same. It doesn't matter if most of it is exactly the same. In your case, you only have 5 pages. I want to see every single page design. Now, on a site like we're looking at right here, which we are currently in the process of developing, there will be many, many pages to this. So for them, we designed 4 pages, and we also designed their drop-down menu. I won't show you the example of the drop-down menu because we are going to change it, but I will show you in another. I will show you another project in a minute that I can show you, like, how did we demo the drop-down. You need to demo things as much as possible for the client. Now, there's more steps before this. But right now, in where we're at in this beginning web class, it's easiest just to focus on just the mock. You are not working with a client right now, so let's do this the easiest way possible and simply show what you're actually going to code. So when I say a mock or a comp, I mean show me exactly what the site is going to look like. Now in this case, and I expect it to be the exact size, the exact height, everything, the real font, the real colors. In this case, the client didn't have real photos for us, but you have to come up with the photos that you actually want. The more you can bring in the real content, the better. A lot of times you are limited. It just depends on what the client has available, but you do the best you can to get the actual content because it does affect decisions. So when I say I want something mocked up, I mean I do not want placeholder text. I want the real text. I want this to look like a web page. And in your case, you will submit JPEGs or GIFs. What I do for clients is, at the very least, I put up static images. Sometimes I even put up interactivity samples. Like if we have a slideshow happening, I want to demo that for them. If I want them to know what we're dealing with slideshow-wise, what does that mean? If we have drop-downs and we can demo them, I will demo them. If it's all possible, if there's something special, what does it do? I demo as much as I can ahead of time so they have reasonable expectations of what's really going to happen. Their idea of what's going to happen versus what you're saying can be very different. So the more it's illustrated, the happier the client you will have. So here we go. This shows the header. It shows the main navigation. This is not demoing the drop-downs. It shows what will be a slideshow, and this is just a JPEG. It shows, we're going to have a search area here. It shows the fields or different areas on the site, and it shows even the footer. That's what I expect when I say you're going to mock something up. You're going to design the whole full thing. As much as possible, we design in Photoshop. And I would recommend designing in Photoshop. You need to design to the actual size. If you are designing in Illustrator or InDesign, it's a little trickier to get your stuff sliced out. InDesign would be my last choice, though I do know some print people that like to work in it. The more web you get, the more you get into designing your layouts in Photoshop. It is simply easier for how we work with the images to get, this little piece right here. How do I get this background and stuff? How do I do that? Well, there's slicing that goes on, and I will be showing you some of that later in the semester. And it's easier. It's just easier in Photoshop. I haven't seen a single Illustrator user that learned how to do this that said, yeah, no, Illustrator's easier. And that may change. Illustrator's getting more and more web friendly, but currently my experience is most web stuff is designed in Photoshop. So you would create your first document and at least give it the width. Usually we designed 955 pixels wide, 72 dots per inch. And I just give it a huge height, maybe 2,000 pixels, 1,000 pixels. If I don't end up using that amount of height, that's fine. Keep in mind that you want to design for above the fold. So what this is a, about 550 pixels down is what, now I don't know what I have going on here. This is a large monitor, but 550 pixels is a safe number to go with. Whatever you have here, whatever that is, from the top of the screen to 550 pixels down, is usually what you can plan on a desktop experience. It's a little different for phones. They're a lot smaller. So you got to think about the most important things being up at the top. So here's some more pages for the site. So this is an internal page. We're keeping the header. Now we have these things up at the top and things on the side, and what does the font look like for headers and for body copy, how do tables set up, everything, like everything detailed out. Where does it go? How does it all set up? It's all very, very important. And so those are the layouts that will create, those are the templates that will build the entire site. Another example of the same concept is here. We built a site for JASK, which is a company that specializes in aerospace and industrial engineer type things, so industrial applications. I'm not describing it well. And they do things aerospace, space, defense, research, and power generation, which is the industrial side. So this is their home page, and we actually did do an HTML demo for them that showed them exactly how the slideshow would work. And this part was HTML, and the rest of it was a JPEG. This is just a static image that you're looking at. And then we showed them what their drop down would look like. It ended up looking a little different than this, ended up being wider, but it looks pretty much like this. And we showed them a different version because there are two different kinds of things happening with drop downs. So what would that look like? Oh, and this is just your most basic drop down. What does that look like? This is an internal page. If they were to click on industries, they would get this. Ignore the little speech bubble there. That's my comment. Here, when they click on from up here, if they were to click on aerospace, what happens next? They get this. Now, I'm showing this to you in a PDF. I would actually make this click through in this case because it's kind of involved, and we didn't this time for some odd reason, and it was confusing for everybody. Normally I would make this a click through. It's very simple to do that. So they would go, oh, okay, click on this, and then I get this. And then here, when I go in further, say to fluid management, which is part of their aerospace line of products, then I get, here's what I see, and then what about when I want to look at an actual product, here's what I see. What about pages that are just content pages that aren't industry and products? Here's what I see. Okay, we fleshed out a lot of stuff. This site is easily 100 plus pages. Gosh, I'm not sure. I want to say 120, 130 pages, including all the blog posts. I mean, those are all pages in a sense. So this is the finished product, and it looks like what we said it would look like. You get the interior pages, and everything clicks through the way we said it would, and I don't know why the site's not working because of course I'm showing you, right? So here's the aerospace. We'll go to actuators, and from there we'll go to this particular product, and it's just like we said it would be. We'll go to about, just a text page, and it's just like we said it would be in the mock. And let's see, founder and CEO. News. So these all, like all of these pages are just text pages, so they're based off of the one layout that was a non-product based page. We can click on that and get into an actual article. Okay. So the things that I didn't demo with this particular client, I didn't show them. We had a header that went on forever to the left and to the right. Now, we didn't put it in, like I've done over here for this project, we didn't put it in an actual HTML page like this is. So they couldn't see that the header went on forever and ever and ever. And it ended up being something in the end. I'd coded it in, they didn't know it. And sure enough, I had to take it out. Just that one little thing. So I want you to know that really showing them every little thing you can before you actually go and build it, super critical. So this is the mocking up process, and for me in the class, I just expect you to submit JPEGs and GIFs. Through Canvas, and we'll have a critique with them. And if there are interactive things, well, in your first site you won't have any interactive, so it doesn't matter. If there were, I would want you to show me somewhere where it exists so I know what we're talking about. But right now, I don't need that at the very beginning, but that you do go there. People need to know. And this is a very simple mocking up process. It can get far more involved than this. So it's critical. The client will not understand if you don't do it. Trust me. And if you do it, they end up happy and you end up at the finish line. So that's the most important thing.